Eventually, 3, 2, 1. We are live. The Hangout is live. So, ladies and gentlemen, friends and family, and fans, welcome to another Podrace after party. Where this time I managed to pay off the Hudson time, which means that I can fund another Podrace after party, and that means that I get to live for another week. And I would like to introduce you to my panel and most importantly, my co-host.
Hey guys, what's up? It's Flip. Uh, Glad to be here with Tarn and looking forward to our guest. Pass it over to Rant.
Thank you, Flip. I'm the Rant, and I'm just really happy to be here. As always, Katarn, thank you so much. And I would like to say hello to Exaggeration Nation for the first time on a live stream.
Ryan, how you doing, man? Good to finally be able to hang out with you a little bit.
Yeah, brother.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm Jesse. I'm from Exaggeration Nation, and I hate Canadian geese. That's my intro. I have really terrible intros.
So, what are we covering? We're covering, a lot of Captain Marvel things. I've seen First Side Day 6. It's all over the place. The first weekend basically is upon us, or actually, I should say that we're entering the second weekend as of tomorrow, which is going to be Monday. And already Captain Marvel has been doing fine in the box office. Now, no surprise there. Although there was some speculation that it may bomb because of Brie Larson's behavior, but I don't think that it was enough because okay, it's Marvel, it's not like 2002 Spider-Man 3. So, please, gentlemen, discuss, expand your views.
Oh, well, I haven't seen it. I'm not going to see it. Yeah, screw Brie Larson, but it's actually more than just a problem with her having diarrhea of the mouth. To be honest, with the exception of Endgame and Infinity Wars, I've almost, and I may get some flack for saying this, I've almost been over the Marvel movies. They have hit me with so many movies, one after the other, after the other, after the other, and they are really good movies to a point, but it's like every movie is shot in the exact same way, the same type of action sequences, the same type of direction, the same type of feel, with the exception of something like Ragnarok, which had a totally different feel from what it used to. I've just been inundated with this. Almost, just feels like the same type of movies with different characters. And
feels like a template.
It does. It absolutely does. It's just like they copied and pasted from one thing to the next. But it's like, I have no reason to want to see Captain Marvel, and now even with everything going on with Rotten Tomatoes, with everything with her just sucking the life out of everything she touches, it's like, you know what, I have no reason whatsoever.
Well, I went to both Alita, Battle Angel, and Captain Marvel yesterday. I did not pay for Captain Marvel, and I'm putting together a video to cover all that. Yeah, that was fun. Alita was amazing, by the way. I'm not going to go over it right here, but I will tell you that the template, what you're saying about it, Marvel movies being a template, I will agree with you there, man. Definitely agree with you there.
That's unfortunate. They can do so many awesome things.
Well, we have a saying in Greece where we basically see that the team that always wins never changes its roster. So it makes sense that Marvel doesn't want to change the format. It's been successful for 10 years straight, and they're like, okay, yeah, we should continue going this way. They're a business. Okay, I mean, like if you had a business where you were selling a product that was very well perceived amongst the general public, I don't think that you would have had any reason to change what you were selling. And unless that product decided to start spewing some feministic propaganda, then yeah, you'd have to change your business model.
Yeah, I mean, I see that to a point, but at the same time, it's like, I mean, even restaurants, even a decent restaurant will change its menu from time to time or put specials on there or whatever. And I'm sitting there like, oh man, it's an Iron Man movie, but oh wait, it's Ant-Man. Okay, great. It's going to be a Captain America movie. Oh wait, come on, it's Doctor Strange, and it's just like, well, by the way, I will give Doctor Strange his credit. I think that was one of my favorite of the Marvel movies.
Yeah, it is.
But oh yeah, but it's just too many copies and pastes, and they were close to doing the same copy and paste thing between the first and second Avengers. They walked a fine line with that one, but
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a lot of people didn't like the way they used Ultron in Avengers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They actually said it was one of the weakest Avengers movies that has ever, been out there. And to me, it's intriguing. I'm like, I really, really enjoyed Age of Ultron, and I remember the cartoons, and I remember, some of the comics, and Marvel Ultimate Alliance, where Ultron is one of the villains, and I enjoyed the storyline. Okay, it didn't involve as much characters as it did in the comics, but to me, it worked, and it surprised me that actually people didn't like Age of Ultron. It did have a somewhat different spin because it was like the second biggest, Marvel movie after Avengers, when the whole basically MCU was assembling together and growing expanding their roster with new characters like Wanda Maximoff and Vision, and or at least that movie, Wanda's twin.
They also had trouble there too because they started getting into that was almost like they were starting to get so happy with having characters cross over from one to the other. It was like when they made Civil War. Some people liked it. I was like, that's a Captain America movie, but it wasn't. It was an Iron Man movie. And I mean, Iron Man took over Captain America's movie, but it was just for the purpose of, they really just love having more characters in these movies. It just felt like an Avengers movie where they just got really pissed at each other.
Well, you could say that. You could.
Yeah,
I think
I get what you mean.
Go ahead, Rant.
Oh no, you go ahead. I was just saying, like, yeah, I understand.
Oh, I think they used it as a launching platform for some of the newer characters, to bring Spider-Man in and all that. I loved Civil War, but yeah, I think it was a little bit different from the same old template.
That one was, but it's like I said, it just got too busy to me with everybody just trying to fight each other, and there was just so much Iron Man in there. It was like they took away from Captain America. It's supposed to be the Cap's movie, man. Leave the Cap alone.
That's true.
Well,
Yeah.
True, but the thing is that one thing that I'm glad that they did with Civil War is that they basically focused it around a specific amount of characters. Now, if you've read the Civil War comics, it's like hundreds of superheroes being involved in the same conflict. And I'm glad. I thought that, it would have been too underwhelming having, a very small band of characters, clashing against each other. But basically, if you give them enough personality, instead of, basically quality over quantity, that's why it worked. Now, Civil War was great. And I think that it justifies why it had so much, what do you call it, Iron Man there, because every single scene that had to do with Captain America was basically regarding his past. So it had to do with a lot of Bucky involved. So I think that it was balanced. Yes, I can agree that it had a little bit too much more Iron Man, but basically, wasn't he the opposing side to Cap? So yeah, I guess it does make sense. So yeah, I guess the MCU, but still, yeah, it did make returning to Captain Marvel. You do get Captain Marvel doing some good, uh, numbers in the box office, but I don't think that ultimately it's going to be the best, because we have a perfect example. Last Jedi made $1.3 billion. Okay, box office, and you can see how horribly perceived amongst fans that is. So
I don't think we're gonna see another movie tank. I think they're fudging the numbers.
Yeah.
Not. I mean, I can't say for sure, but it's my theory that they're not going to let the public perceive You know, because look at what they're doing with Rotten Tomatoes. They've actually sacrificed their business model for the website, saying they don't approve of negative reviews, so they're just going to wipe them off. So apparently, if you go to that website to look to see if you want to go see a movie, you're not really getting anything out of it except people saying they like a movie. So if you can do that to an entire business model, you can just as easily fudge the numbers for the press. Hell, all the garbage tier websites are already shills for Disney Marvel and Disney Lucasfilm. In fact, some of them are actually owned by Disney Lucasfilm or Disney Marvel. Collider is actually a subsidiary of Marvel, of ABC.
Right.
So they can put out any numbers they like. And so it's just a theory to me that we likely won't see another movie tank the way Solo did, not at least in the public eye. What's your opinion?
Well, they've been on that trend for a little bit, I think, and they started it actually, I think, just before, or right at the time of The Last Jedi, because when The Last Jedi actually came out, it was actually I think on the same opening week or month. I can't remember if it was the same week or not, but Justice League, they were battling Justice League, you know, Disney and doing their thing versus, you know, Warner Brothers. And so whenever The Last Jedi came out, man, Rotten Tomatoes gave The Last Jedi like a 92% or some junk like that, but audience rating was like only 42. And then when you saw Justice League had like a rating of like 37% by Rotten Tomatoes, but the audience score was like 74, 75%. And even though Justice League definitely had its struggles as far as how good of a movie it was, and all the things I could speak on to make the movie good, audiences liked that movie better. But you wouldn't ever be able to tell because of the tomato meter and how they rated their movies and stuff. It was all lopsided.
Well, do you know what actually makes the whole thing sad? Now that I actually think about it, based on what you're saying, regarding tomato meters, audience meter scores, critic scores, and the whole mentality surrounding these movies today, a movie can be panned because of what it politically stands on. So, for example, if Captain Marvel was objectively more exciting as a movie, had a better marketing run, basically was advertised better, for example, than Justice League, and was perceived or highly anticipated more than Justice League, did better, but still politically it was perceived worse, people are going to give it shit. But it could have been better than Justice League, for example. I haven't seen Captain Marvel yet, but Justice League, when I saw the movie, I objectively saw its faults and stuff, and I can see people pandering to Justice League because saying, hey, you know what, DC Comics isn't woke and Marvel is going woke. So basically, up to now, Marvel has been far superior to DC Comics, but politically speaking, people want to spitefully go against Marvel and Marvel fans themselves because they do not like the political messages that are being pushed toward us. So let me just take a minute to say hello to the people in the chat: Dead Rebel Storage and Darth David R. Hello and welcome to our humble podcast, where today we were talking about the first week of Captain Marvel, and hopefully next week I will be in Greece with my brand new laptop that I just ordered, which means I'm not going to be hosting a purple HP laptop that makes me look like an SJW. Thankfully, in Africa, they don't know what this is, so basically they just call me gay, and it's the end of the story. So this is my sister's laptop, so I'm going to be having way more power when it comes to the CPU and the RAM capability, so I can not lag as much as I do sometimes. So that's that. Am I excited for going back? Yes, I am. And I want to see by that time. I'm going to go and see Captain Marvel next Sunday, I guess, because I have to see it. I really want to see it. I'm curious because people haven't tanked Captain Marvel as much as they expected to. I saw Jesse Milestone's review. I saw Josiah's review, who basically was more close to what I would predict someone would say about Captain Marvel. And then I saw Odin's review, and they were more mellow about it. But one thing that they all have in common is that they say that they do not have as much SJW propaganda for it. But one thing that they do say, and it enrages me in a way, is that they follow the same Last Jedi trope. And what that means is, for example, they do some retconning that basically breaks the lore and the whole expansion of the MCU for 10 years. Captain Marvel basically breaks what has been created in 10 years. She basically breaks in one movie, just like The Last Jedi. What has been established for 40 years is broken in 40 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Guys, expand on this because I really believe that this has been this is something that you can expand on. I mean, do you think that Captain Marvel is the last Jedi of the MCU?
I'm hoping so. We would really enjoy that, wouldn't we? I would honestly love for it to be not the Last Jedi, but I mean, at this point, it's probably already past being Solo. So, yeah, I guess Last Jedi. Maybe a little bit worse than Last Jedi,
Like a typical successful failure. That's what I call these things. Successful failures.
Exactly.
Well,
you got the ball to like the 2-yard line.
And it's a real shame too, because Captain Marvel, man, could have been a really good movie. It could have been, because Captain Marvel's an awesome character, but it was just so much press. A lot of people made up their mind way early on before this movie even came out, and I think it could have done a lot better. Even if it isn't the strongest movie, I think it still could have done a lot better opening weekend. Even though it has done pretty good, I think it still could have had a better turnout if Brie Larson would just learn when to shut the heck up.
Did you guys ever think that maybe she was instructed this way? Every single actor has a media or a press representative or a coach that basically tells them what to say and how to do some interviews. So do you think that she was instructed to be this way? And I know it seems silly, but there must obviously be a goal to all this,
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. You think they have someone standing there like, tell them you only care about biracial girls. You only care about biracial girls. Do you think they told her to say that? Like, like her, what is it, handler, something like that? I don't know.
Well, Disney's been on this trend forever for going towards SJW, the social justice warrior mentality for a while.
But don't they see? Don't they, it's stupid. Don't they see that basically the majority of fans don't enjoy this? I mean, like we're not stupid. We're not liking this as much as they think that we are.
They're billionaires. I don't think they really care, to be honest.
Oh yeah, I guess you're right. You're absolutely right. I mean, like if I had enough money to basically secure the future of my grandchildren, I wouldn't care what the general public thing. So yeah, you're right on that. They do 100%.
Yeah.
So
and I think they see themselves, and I mean, because I live 30 minutes south of Disney World, and they see themselves as visionaries and cutting edge and trendsetters and everything like that. And so they do little tiny things to kind of introduce ideas from the ways of even like, for example, even employees that work at Disney World, there are certain things that they cannot talk about even with each other. As far as like, these types of SJW type of things. And then they do something like releasing Beauty and the Beast, the live action Beauty and the Beast. The big hubbub about that was, oh, we're going to have a gay character. Like, who even cares? I mean, fine. If he's going to be gay, whatever. You don't want to shove that in people's faces. You don't want to. Don't make a topic a conversation starter at the expense of the story.
Yeah.
Those are the things I really hate. Like, I've got a really big beef right now with the CW. They have the Supergirl show on there. They've got the Flash and everything, but they always throw in some type of a gay kiss or a lesbian kiss in there somewhere. That's just, it's like totally nothing that really makes sense with anything other than the fact of, oh, we gotta make sure that in this episode we appease this audience. Just no.
Yeah, the last Flash episode I watched, Cisco, he was on a date with this girl, and this waitress kept coming up saying different things like, oh, the men in this city. Oh, do you think he's going to pay for the drink? Like, what the hell?
Right, yeah. And I feel like that's the direction Disney starts to go after a while, too. It's like, okay, we got to make sure that we got to make sure it's almost like they have a checklist with some of their movies, okay? We've covered the black people. We've covered the gay people. We've covered the women. And it's like, man, whatever. Just make a good movie and make it known that you love everybody, and that's it.
Yeah, true. Okay, so to some of my Saberland friends out there, I just got this email expressing the excitement around these new lightsaber hilts. Now, some differences that I understand in my builds and stuff. What we're talking about right now is a new Luke Skywalker hilt, which basically resembles the screen accuracy much closer to the one that I have presently, but I don't really care because I'm very happy with the model that I have. Basically, it's a few tweaks. And they're issuing a new Darth Vader one, which I really, really like, and I think that I should make a Darth Vader hilt sometime eventually. And Starkiller, and I'm still waiting for that Dooku to be on pre-ordering, and when that does, it's going to be my fourth build for the channel. So, Stig Johansson, hello to you too. Thank you for dropping by. I really appreciate you taking the time to.
Stig, what's up, man?
I appreciate it. And so basically we're talking Captain Marvel and Marvel in general and comparing them to DC. But yeah, you can see how politics can actually ruin a good movie and elevate a shittier movie in quality or in production because, it's what the people want. And it's kind of sad because a long time ago, this wasn't the case. So I actually said this a long time ago when I actually accidentally stumbled on Catwoman when I was browsing through my TV. And the Rookie Critic said hello, and Ruth also dropped in. Hello, Rookie and Ruth. So,
guys.
Amazing people. The Rookie Critic, you have to talk to him. You know who he is. If you know who I am, you know who he is. So basically what happened is that when I saw Catwoman, it was a very feministic movie, but it failed because it was, the early 2000s, and people weren't as woke as they were today. And I told everyone on Twitter, okay, imagine if this came out today, it would have been perceived as, like this amazing movie. But politically, it would have suited a lot of people like us. But basically, if you take the movie, it's a piece of shit because it is horribly executed, horribly done, horribly. But still, that's what I mean. Basically, in the long run, you could have a horrible movie that serves a political agenda, and people will pander to it and basically make it, something very special because it expresses their agenda and not their personality. And movies was not about politics; it was about how you feel as a person, what it makes you feel. Do you self-evaluate? Do you feel something good? Do you feel something bad? Do you dislike it because it offended your character, not the policy? And yeah, so I know this is kind of very intellectual, but today we do not live in a very intellectual time with all these SJWs on the release. But yeah, so guys in the chat, just please tell me, what do you guys think of Halle Berry's Catwoman? I'd like to see that.
Usually a taboo topic.
It is a taboo topic, but yeah.
Did you really bring up Halle Berry's Catwoman?
Yeah, I really did because it was a feminist icon back then, but it tanked because there was no wokeness back then. Everyone was sleeping happily.
That may be on the
Yeah.
same level as George Clooney bat nipples.
I'll take George Clooney's bat nipples over Halle Berry's over the top, extravagant, stereotypical Catwoman any day.
Meow.
Well, going back to Marvel a little bit is like freaking. How in the world is like you got Brie Larson and everybody promoting this. Oh, this is going to be the movie where the ladies throw off their chains. We've got a girl power thing here. I'm like, did you even freaking watch Wonder Woman? Did you know that movie even existed? Oh my word!
No, you know what? Jesse, I think that they have actually seen Wonder Woman, but basically because it is against their narrative, they are not going to talk about it because it is a good movie that goes against their narrative. So they're like, I like the movie, but I better keep my mouth shut because there's no glamour reflecting here. So yeah,
Well, they also have to
spoiler.
acknowledge the fact that it exists, so they don't say that. You don't say things like, "Oh, this is going to be the movie of girl power." It's like we had girl power 4 years ago when a far superior person actually acted a role out. Somebody that's classy, somebody that knew how to conduct themselves and everything. And you've had people before then too, and Catwoman was one of them. You know, I mean, that was for the short time, that was a feminist icon back in the day, but not in the strange way that they're trying. You know, that Marvel and Disney's trying to make their Captain Marvel movie out to be. You know, it spoke on its own merits.
Yeah, no, it actually did.
Well, having seen the movie, I can definitely tell you her butt double was great. I mean, that ass. You know what I'm saying?
So yeah, I actually saw a picture of her today, and she's outstanding. I said that, yeah. Why didn't they just feature her instead of Brie Larson? Because yeah, she's more charismatic and hotter, definitely hotter.
Yeah, but still, she's like Marvel's Kristen Stewart. She's always got a pouty face on.
Do you want to maybe give us your personal experience with Captain Marvel? Maybe spoiler free or spoiler full. I don't think that a lot of people want to see Captain Marvel, especially in this panel or chat. If you guys want to see it, I guess it can be censored for now. So just let us know. Clip, just please do expand on it because you know I value your opinion very much, and I want to know if it's worth a watch.
Okay. Well, let's see. Spoiler free. It was just like any other Marvel movie. The template was there, of course. You know, the comedy was not bad, but you know, you expect the Marvel comedy. Oh man, she was way overpowered in the end. I'll give you that. A little bit
Typical
overpowered.
Mary Sue.
Well, no, because they cover why she has her powers. Like it's a satisfying reason that she has these powers. So, but in the way that she, is completely over. She's like Superman, but a woman. And I mean that's okay with me. Watching her though. And knowing what she said and having watched what she said just before I went in, to remind myself, and actually having seen Alita Battle Angel also before I went in there, it was such a hard thing to accept. I mean, don't get me wrong, the movie was really fine, but I don't see it like The Last Jedi. There wasn't a lot of agenda messages in it. There was one that stood out. The one that stood out was a reference to illegal aliens and allowing them within your borders. The whole thing with Trump and the border, that was definitely addressed in sort of under the radar sort of way.
So it's like a jab to Trump.
It was definitely a shot at the Trump administration, no doubt about it. Yeah, so I mean, she was overpowered. There was a shot at the Trump administration, and other than that, it was your average Marvel movie, which I have to say it was a good movie, but it had its faults. That being that it was just your average Marvel movie. It wasn't anything like a standout. And what worried me is that it's going to go into Endgame, and I fear that she's going to be the one to kill Thanos. And
do you think that has any effect or any expansion? Basically, does it affect Endgame? So can you skip this movie into thinking that hey, yeah, this doesn't affect Endgame at all, or do you need to see this movie in order to basically be prepared for Endgame? Because let's not forget, Endgame is exactly in at least for Greece, April 26th, which means that it is exactly 46 days away from us.
right. No, you don't have to see this movie to get Endgame. But there is something that happens in this movie that is disappointing, that does not follow the comics at all. So you'll know it when you see it. It's like, hey, wait a minute, you know.
Are you talking about a certain scene with a certain feline?
Oh, with the cat, right?
Oh God! Wait, I think that this is a common secret amongst everyone. When I saw the post-credit scene where Goose the cat puked the Tesseract, I went and puked actual vomit.
Okay.
Dude.
Well, I'll say this.
And on the opposite, it's like, here you go. Here, find the Tesseract. Like, here, easily done. Don't grind for it. Don't look for it. Don't test yourself. Here it is. A cat puked the Tesseract. One of the
doesn't make sense because Cap had the Tesseract. It's not like there's two Tesseracts. I mean, how did the cat even get it? How did the cat even have it? Question. Like, did the cat swim out into that frozen like oasis and just swim down to the bottom and grab it from Cap? Like,
well, that's true. In the 90s, like, how did he have it? Yeah. Now that I think about it, they do address how the cat gets it, but I don't know where it came from because it was supposed to be with Captain America.
Yeah, I only watched like 5. Well, no, was it 5? Yeah, I watched about like 5-10 minutes of the movie, honestly. So yeah,
can I make a personal question on this? Does it show how basically Captain Marvel is connected to the Avengers as to like why she was there, and does it basically give a good enough explanation as why she wasn't present during all of the Avengers assembling incidents like New York or basically the entire MCU timeline? Does it give an in-movie explanation as to why Captain Marvel was not present in these big incidents?
Sort of, yeah, sort of, yes, yeah. The whole point of the movie, the plot, the MacGuffin, so to speak, helps explain where she was and why she was not there. Yeah, absolutely. And by the way, how the cat got the Tesseract, it just occurred to me. This is in the 90s. This is the time they must have found the Tesseract back then because they were already starting Operation Pegasus back then. So, without giving too much more away, that's sort of, yeah, they explain the Tesseract.
And is the explanation legit enough, or is it basically a lazy MacGuffin to basically, hey, yeah, just get this off of our backs?
Let me put it this way: if Brie Larson had just kept her damn mouth shut, you would have probably went to this movie and came out saying it was as good as, say, Winter Soldier, only with Superman in it. You know, that's
okay. Yeah.
The whole time you're watching it, it's hard not to think of this racist, sexist person and all the other people that back her up. I will give you that, but otherwise, the movie isn't really that bad. It's not.
Yeah, I may decide to see it whenever it comes on Netflix. I'm not going to pay for it at one point, but I mean, I give it its due chance, and I will try to watch it with a clear mind, not as somebody that just has a potty mouth.
Well, you see, it's very easy to misunderstand these movies because of, Brie Larson. It's very easy to dislike her at this point because she basically called out 75% of her demographic, which is white males. But if the movie is good, I think that we should give it the a proper recognition that it deserves. Okay, now I do know that she isn't very exciting and stuff, and a lot of people, in their defense, and not SJW's mind you, have said, okay, like Black Widow was also kind of generic, a kind of generic badass, but um, she is not that generic because basically she is not like the superhuman character. She has, she's a human, and so she's a badass on human standards. So yeah, it's more believable, I guess.
Well, if anything, Scarlett Johansson deserved a movie before this Brie Larson, because Scarlett Johansson has been doing so much longer and been working so hard at it, and she's fits right in. She has no super powers, but I would have wanted to do like a 007 spy type movie or whatever with her. Yeah.
So that is true. She should have definitely gotten her own movie. I mean, she's been in it from the very beginning. She's earned, and then here comes this other chick who just pops in and all of a sudden, bang. Not cool.
No. Brie Larson said, "This movie is my activism." How is it you're gonna? This woman needs to stop bringing politics into it. All these billionaires and producers and people that are in Hollywood just need to stop bringing politics into movies. This movie would have been just fine if I wasn't sitting there the whole time cringing at the fact that I was surrounded by a 90% female audience.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was 90% female. Absolutely. I kept seeing dudes come in trailing behind like 3 and 4 women. And I'm like, okay, okay. And it never stopped. And I'd say the theater was 75% full. And no, I didn't pay to get in. I'm afraid to admit that. We went and saw Alita and then just walked right in. It was easy. We timed it and everything. It was easy. As a matter of fact, I'm a little worried about something. And I'm going to ask your guys' opinion. Should I or should I not, in my video, should I put what I recorded from my seat?
As long as it doesn't get you into any trouble, maybe you could, because you're a daredevil and you could do that sort of thing.
Is it during the movie?
Yeah, I recorded pretty much the whole movie in different spots. I probably stopped it 3 or 4 times to check the battery, but I had this my son loaned me his battery case. It has an extra battery connected to it, so I had all the power I needed for the entire.
By the way, when I saw the flip side episode, day 6, your son looked like basically he came up with the first Apple computer in like 1972. Man,
that's funny, man. He's actually. That's funny you would say that, because he wears those glasses because he loves Steve Jobs, and also he's playing with his MacBook right now, where he downloaded the original Macintosh program. He's actually doing that right now.
That's funny. Let's also greet the Real Comic Stacks, who just came into the chat. Welcome. Thank you for stopping by into my channel. I talk about lightsabers and Captain Marvel and Star Wars and all MCU things related. So if you enjoy, you can sub. Everyone can sub. It's free. Trust me. The subscribe button is for free. And also check my panel of guests. These are. Oh no! Oh guys, a flip! Damn it! We have a problem. We have too much diversity in the chat. Black Angus. Black Angus is in the chat. Prepare your Anguses, everyone.
Let me pull up my tablet. Hold on. Not gonna like this,
What up,
am I?
Angus?
Hey, Flip, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Did Brie Larson kiss any other women in that movie? Did she kiss any other woman?
She didn't kiss anybody at all.
Then she's a hypocrite. How is she gonna
Why-
preach all this stuff and not even kiss a girl?
I know. I need to see some, one-on-one girly action.
Like it makes no sense at all.
I did hear there was a
diversity,
good
right?
scene where she got I did hear there was a good scene where she got punched for a little while. I'd see that.
that was enjoyable. There were some spots where she got her ass kicked. Absolutely.
Yeah, I'll go to see that. If anybody can rip that onto a good I'll give $25 to whoever can come up with the Brie Larson butt kick compilation. Then I'll send you something.
I'll put that on my video. I have footage. I will do that. You don't have to send me no money. I'll do it for free.
All right.
Oh man. All I can ever say to myself these days about Beef Larson is she's a troll. She's trying to be like Ruin Johnson, and just get more attention.
Oh, and then Ryan Johnson actually got in on it. I guess you guys probably know that if you've been watching videos this week. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
The new fresh.
He says, yeah, certified fresh, right?
He's jealous. He wants to be the only one trolling us. That's what it is. He's jealous.
No. You see, he's actually trying to basically give a justification to why his movie is absolute shit. So basically, he said, okay, if I cannot be, a conventional fresh, then maybe I can turn the tables around me like a typical SJW. So basically, what SJWs like Ryan Johnson and basically what SJWs want is the most publicity. So basically, if you give them a lot of praise, if you give them out of 100 people, if 70 people give them praise for something good, they'll be like, okay, praise me, I did something great. And if those 70 people give them flack and basically give them backlash, they will still bask in that because what they want, it's not even praise, it's not a criticism. What they want is attention, and negative reviews is still attention. And these people have this this disorder where they think that hey, it's still cool to have this have this publicity. I mean, they're so idiotic and so narcissistic that they don't realize that when you actually basically give them flack, it is negative attention. But for them, it's attention. It counts, So if they will look at the numbers, if they're basically getting a lot of flack, they will try to change the whole system and say, yes, this is good criticism because it still puts them on the map. And I have this theory, and I want to make it into a movement. Basically, hopefully when my channel starts to rise again, when I start doing content, regular content instead of just live streams, what I want to do is promote an area of positivity. And when positive people get together, they ignore all of the toxicity and all of the stupidity that the left and SJWs have to push on to us. Okay, we're not obliged to see Captain Marvel. We weren't obliged to see The Last Jedi or Solo. So basically, when we see something that we do not like, we have every reason to vote with our wallets and say, no, I'm skipping this. And when we basically ignore them, it's what drives them crazy. I'm telling you that if every single fan ignored Ryan Johnson and stopped making videos and complaints about The Last Jedi, he would be driven crazy. And he writes these stupid tweets, and he talks. I don't know if you caught that last tweet where he basically said The Last Jedi is basically what a 80s slasher movie is to I don't know, basically he was borderlining on pedophilia. But basically he wrote a stupid tweet, not because it was intellectual or had to teach something to people, but because he was stupid and he knew that was going to get attention, despite it being negative, because that's what they bask on. SJWs bask on attention, and especially when it's negative. So if
they
we
not only
die,
bask on that, they bask on the fact that not only they bask in attention, but they also go by the mantra of It's not like they use reason. Their reasoning is if I talk louder and more than the other person, then I'll win the argument.
Agreed.
Yeah. So if we ignore them completely, and that's what I'm trying to get at, if we ignore them, I think that's how we win. There are so many amazing things, so many positive things to discuss, to focus on. I mean, like we're getting the Clone Wars season 7. Okay, I'm not ready for this. I'm not psychologically ready
Hell
for
yeah.
this. I really have to watch the Clone Wars again and prepare myself to prepare my Angus for this. Hashtag prepare your Angus. I'm actually making this a hashtag Angus. So
I'll tell you one thing that we need to do. One thing that we need to do to win as well. I don't know that. I think just ignoring is maybe part of the. It's maybe part of the option. But also I think we need to make sure that there's some better stuff out there to go against what they're putting out. If we just shut up, then they're just going to run amok and do whatever they want because their whole thing is we'll silence other people and just keep talking and keep
well,
talking.
that's the thing. That's the thing. We don't realize that basically them silencing us is the ultimate weapon. Okay, they will think that okay, they got us, but basically, when we get silenced in the end, I don't like getting silenced because in the long run, I think that hey, that's when the FGWs think that they won over me because I know that I have better arguments than them. But in the end, it's not about arguments because you could have the best, well-structured argument, and basically they would still have something to say on this. And the best way to counter this is with silence. You see, um, the best way to deal with hate is not with responding to it with passion and emphasis and love. It's indifference. And the best way to also neglect love is not hate. It's indifference again. So indifference is the perfect middle ground for both hate and love. So basically, just don't give them attention. They will come to your statuses. They will come to your tweets. They will come to your timelines, and they will infest you with all of this diarrhea infested bullshit. So just don't give them what they want. I wanted to answer a question that the rookie critic made to me, and possibly maybe the panel can chime in onto this. If we didn't hear Bree at all leading up to this, would our expectations and interest be different? At the rant and at the General Catan and Flip Dog. So basically, okay, I'll go first. So there was this picture where Brie Larson went into the theaters, and basically she had this Captain Marvel, like ensemble, and she was basically interacting with fans, taking pictures, and basically she was being all friendly. Now, what I believe is that if she had this approach from the get-go, we could like her. We can forgive wooden acting when the actor is amazing. I mean, like if you take uh, what's the Olsen sibling? What's her name? Basically, Wanda Maximoff, Scarlet Witch she's not an amazing actress. Okay, she isn't like this super amazing cool woman that basically stands out. But basically, the reason why she didn't have any political propaganda to spew out made us like her more because she didn't attack the fans like Brie Larson did uh, inadvertently. And Chris Evans, he's a complete snowflake. Mark Hamill is a snowflake. Okay, they're both left wing sided people, and they basically hate Trump, and they have openly said that on Twitter and stuff. But we love them because their portrayal of characters is amazing. Okay, they're against Trump, not the fans. So when it comes to the fans, they show that they respect and love us. Now, I'm not on the left. Okay, I do not have left ideologies, and I do respect some people on the left because I do believe that some people on the left do have some values. Okay, they're not complete SJWs or retards. So, and I've also disagreed with a lot of people with right-wing ideologies that, for me, for my personal taste, is radical. So it doesn't have to do only with politics; it also has to do with personal preference. So in the end, end run, what's important to take from this is that these people may have some political beliefs, but as long as they do not mix it or use it to attack the fans, we can be okay with them.
I agree. But if Brie Larson hadn't opened her mouth, to that sorry, rookie critic, I saw his chat. When's my first speech? I'll give it sometime soon, man. If it wasn't for Brie Larson opening her mouth, I probably still would not have seen it. Like I said, it went back to earlier in the chat when we were talking about a lot of the Marvel movies just being copy and paste, from one movie to the next, and how it's shot, and the humor and everything's. I'm just marveled out. I'm marveled out. I'm going to give Endgame its shot because I loved Infinity Wars, but after Endgame, I think I'm going to have to take a sabbatical.
I think it's the same for everyone, man.
Yeah. After Endgame, they're looking at doing an mostly female-led Avengers.
Oh, I can't wait.
That's gonna work.
Yeah, I saw it. Josiah Rises yesterday or so, and he said that he got some leaked stuff for Endgame and how Captain Marvel walks in, starts barking orders and stuff, and Cap's just like, yeah, okay, like, whoa, calm down. Captain America is supposed to lead the Avengers. I don't care who the hell pops in. Cap still runs the Avengers. Like, I don't know. If you're not Steve Rogers, you don't run it. You know what I mean? If you are not Steve Rogers, you do not run the Avengers.
You will want to see the very final end credit scene. That's definitely something you want to see. If what Rant just said about Josiah getting that leaked material, you'll want to see the very last end credit scene of Captain Marvel.
I almost want to just hear what it is, man, but there's other people, so
I want to tell you so bad.
I've heard like 3 or 4 spoilers on it. It's pretty cool, I think. Yeah, I'd agree with you. I'm still not going to see it, but I've heard enough to be able to visualize it.
Yeah, you really, if you've heard, about it, because I read it before I went. Because I was doing my flip side the other night, and I read everything leading up to that, So I read about it too, and if you're visualizing it the way I did, as the way they wrote it on that article, then you'll definitely be looking at it the right way. I don't remember Captain America being like, "Oh, okay," but at the same time, it was like I'd sat there through 3 minutes worth of credits, and I was done. So.
Yeah.
True.
But it like Grant, you want to know what it is? Is everyone okay with me telling you?
Yep.
I definitely am.
Okay. All right. So, just like in the Endgame trailer, where you see Ant-Man kind of coming up to the camera, you don't. That room that Black Widow and Captain America are in, whatever that room is, where he's like, "Is this live?"
Yeah.
That's the room they're in, and they're talking about the pager that Nick Fury had dropped, when he got snapped away. Well, all of a sudden you see like a hologram of it, and then somebody comes in. I can't remember who it was, and they're like, "Oh, by the way, the thing stopped working." And Black Widow's like, yeah, you got to keep that working. Just see what you can do to make it work, because Nick Fury wanted that to work. And they're like, okay. And all of a sudden, somebody, I think it was Captain Marvel, says, "Where's Fury?" And Black Widow turns around, and there she is. And that's pretty much it. That's the thing.
I also remember hearing that she was mad too. Apparently, like she has a mad face on.
Yep. She looked very concerned and angry, yeah.
That's just her RBF.
Oh, there was a joke in the movie, Jesse. There was a joke in the movie about Brie Larson smiling, and I forgot about this. So this guy on a motorcycle kind of pulls up, and he's like, "What's shaking, hot stuff?" or something like that, like a guy might do. And of course, she was very insulted because a man thought she was hot. And then they kind of, he said, "Well, guess you don't smile much or something like that.
That's such a cliche, like 1980s joke. Like, oh my word! Like, I even went back. This is a very embarrassing thing to say. I even went back and watched part of the 1984 Supergirl movie because when I was 8 years old, I couldn't appreciate what a good movie was, and I embarrassed myself when I saw some of these things. But it was like I saw this one part where Supergirl lands in the middle of like this parking lot in the middle of the night. She doesn't know where she is, and so these two truckers come up, and they're like, these two truckers park their truck right in front of her. They can get out, and they're like, "Oh, look what we got here!" and stuff. I'm like, "What are these freaking towns just full of rapists and everything like that?" It's like, what the heck's going on? And then I don't know, but that reminded me a whole lot of just the corniness that is. Looks like there's evil, angry, horny men out trying to terrorize women.
It's like one of those sexual harassment in the workplace videos from 1988 or something. Like,
the only thing I ever took from those little training videos is like, so that's how you sexually harass.
Yeah, exactly.
Like it's more of an instructional video on how to rather than what not to do.
It really is. It's funny. I've been watching The Office lately. Have you guys seen The Office?
Oh yeah.
So I was on that episode where Michael had to show everybody that video, the sexual harassment video, and that's what made me think of it. So yeah.
Dude, I'm a huge Office aficionado. Love that show.
Yep. I haven't gotten but through the what season are we on? Third season?
You're on 2, I think.
I'm on season 2, but I accidentally saw some later on when I first was being introduced to it, where the kids come in and it's bring your daughter to work day, or bring the kids to work day.
Oh, yeah.
And that one guy's like, "What's your name?" He goes, "I'm Mr. Shroot." He goes, "Oh, Mr. Poop."
Mr. Poop.
I don't know. If you hadn't seen it, it's not funny, but that's a great show. Really great show.
I've got you.
You guys, I gotta go now.
Well, we'll also be like in the next 15 minutes because we're trying to make these into a 1 hour 30-minute streams because it's much easier for people to follow, and we can focus our chats better, and it gives us a better replay value. Yeah, it's easier to replay 1 hour and 30 minutes than 3 hours. Other people will be like, oh, damn.
Exactly.
So, Rant, I guess we'll catch you sometime later in the chat.
Yeah, I will definitely be talking to you guys again soon, man.
Awesome. And I just wanted to also say to you guys before you get off, especially to Rant, I'm sorry I kind of just ghosted lately. Well, my whole mentality now is like how to get back to Greece. These 2 interviews that I got here were supposed to be good, but they were a bust, and they completely took a toll on my mentality. And plus, that Desert Scorpion completely screwed my my immune system. It basically just scattered everything that I had, and I thought that I was, like. Anyway, so.
So wait a minute, you were bit by a scorpion, right?
Yeah, I told you guys I was stung the other day, and I got this. The only thing that happened was I had this. Of course, I had stomach pains, obviously diarrhea, and I had a lot of zits and pimples on my face because of the toxin. It isn't, something fatal, but that thing, it stung. It had this what's it called, a myotoxic, which basically affects muscles. I'm very glad that it wasn't like maybe on a neurotoxin or something like that to basically shut my whole nervous system down.
Man, I'm glad you're okay. And I've actually never seen a scorpion like in the wild before. And I live in Florida, and this is the Australia of the United States. Anything that can kill you.
Oh yeah. I visited Florida one time. I'm not so sure if I want to go back. I can't be walking around with a gun and stuff without people thinking I'm gonna do them harm. So I would not go back to Florida.
Believe it or not, Florida now is the second highest concealed carry state in the country, next to Texas. And so it just depends on where you go. It's like anything south of Orlando and north of Miami is straight redneck unless you're on the coast.
Wow. Well, I'm in
So if you want to have
Georgia.
fun with guns, come on in.
There's one county or one city up here where it's mandatory to own a firearm.
No kidding.
Yes, you have to prove that you have it when you do your taxes every year. It's Kennesaw, Georgia. Check it out. And their crime rate is 0%. 0.
Wow.
Yeah, well, basically, yeah, it makes sense. You will fuck around with the neighborhood when everyone has guns. So yeah, and then when people are like, especially in the UK, how can you actually have guns on you? I mean, don't you feel threatened? And how don't you feel that this is an obstruction of safety and justice? Oh, fuck off, man! I wish the same thing could happen in Greece. And do you know what they told me when they basically robbed my? I was robbed in Greece like a few months back with my ex-girlfriend when I was staying there. And I went to the police station and I said, that we should have the right to carry firearms. And he said, this is in the United States. And I said, yeah, one of the reasons why the United States is one of the most safest countries in the world is because they actually have the right to carry firearms. He said, no, because if you carry firearms, they will carry a semi-automatic. And if you carry a bazooka, they'll have a tank. I said, who the fuck is this? The Kazaki mob? Motherfucker, stop watching TV. Jesus.
So let me ask you something. Are you allowed to have a BB gun?
Well, what we can have is the double-barrel shotguns, for hunting, but it's just strictly for hunting. It's not like for defensive purposes. So if I shoot someone, even in self-defense, I do go to prison for manslaughter.
Jesus. Damn.
Yeah. But you know what? I told that guy. If I had a gun, I'd shoot the fucker. If I saw someone invading my personal space, stealing the things that I worked so hard to make. He said, yeah, I feel you, but that's the law. I said, yeah, the law has to change. Otherwise, people are going to continue to fuck us over. We have a situation with illegal immigrants. We have a lot of situations with people taking advantage of the fact that, yeah. And I said that if we had the right to carry arms in our houses, because, he said that, a burglar could actually say, yeah, I have the right to also carry arms because of the law. And I basically said, okay, yeah, you could have the right to carry arms because of the law. But I said, okay, yeah, but it's in your house. So basically, if I, by law, have every reason to have a house, to have a gun in my house, when someone comes to burgle me, that means he's coming out of his house with a gun in my house. So he's basically in the wrong.
Yeah, and everybody over here shouts about like, oh, make guns illegal and that'll stop the shootings. I'm like, really? I sure do wish they'd make like meth illegal. Maybe everybody stop making meth.
Well, you see, that's how it is. That's how
nobody smokes meth because it's illegal, right?
That's how the human psyche works. You see, if you tell someone that you can't have this and you actually tell them what is prohibited, well, that's basically one of the reasons why Adam and Eve got kicked out of heaven. God said you can have anything, but just don't eat the apple. And fuck it, they had to eat the apple. They had a lot of fruit. They had a lot of animals there. They could have eaten anything that they wanted, but they had to have a fucking apple. So yeah,
that's Eve's fault.
How was it useful?
It was Eve's fault. She's the one that ate the apple first. Just saying. Pin that on her feminism.
Actually, your toxic masculinity is offensive. I'm going to have a soy latte because yeah, I need some soy latte right now because I can't take toxic masculinity. Oh my god, I can't believe that.
I'll see you guys next time. All right.
I'll see you, Rand. Thanks for popping in. All right. So, aside from all of this toxic masculinity and gun control and stuff, I do really think that Flip, you're absolutely right, because when you actually have guns in every single house, that's mandatory. Someone that wants to break into your house will think twice because you'll be like, yeah, this motherfucker has a gun on him.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Guns, it's a double-edged sword for sure. I mean, I don't think guns are a bad thing. I don't any more than I think a car in the hands of a bad person is a bad thing. You know, um, but when you know that there's people out there with guns, you're going to think a lot harder about robbing a place, or you're you know carjacking somebody or something like that.
No, that's
If you
true.
could,
That's true.
Well,
you could get hold.
almost every gas station around here. I mean, as long as it's not like a franchise gas station like Quick Trip or like Racetrack, if it's like your regular Shell station or something like that, these people have guns in there,
Yeah,
right there. I've actually seen people to where they have their gun actually aimed at you under the counter. So all they ever
mhm,
have to do is pull the trigger. It's simple.
yeah,
Because they've
And the
been
law,
robbed so much.
yeah, and the
And I
law
don't
actually
blame them.
covers them.
Huh?
So they also have the law on their side. So basically, yeah, you cannot be offended or threatened that they're actually pointing the gun at you because the law says that you can't do so. And I agree with that.
yeah. But
Sure.
it all depends too. I mean, you got to look at some things really closely. They had, I think it was in Clearwater or St. Petersburg or whatever, that case where a dude was a concealed carry and he got in an altercation with a guy out beside a gas station. Well, the guy ended up hitting the dude with the gun and pushing him down. So after he's on the ground, that's when he drew. Now the guy that was roughhousing him wasn't advancing or anything like that. It was like a good 2 or 3 seconds, and then he just started boom, boom, popping him off and claiming the standard ground is the thing or whatever. But they ended up convicting him, and for good reason actually too, because there was a video of it. There are just some people that can get so ambitious and you know feel all quote unquote threatened by this crap that they get a little trigger happy, a little more trigger happy than they should.
Oh, like overkill.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's one thing to you can get in trouble for that. Like if you're in self-defense and you pull the trigger once and say you hit them, in the I don't know. Let's say you hit them in the heart and they're dead. That's it. If you still go over there to double, tap them, that's illegal apparently.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it should be to be honest, because I mean, I taught martial arts as a job for 7 years, and one thing that we had to really ingrain in people is to make sure that when you've done your job and defending yourself and getting that person away from you, you have a duty to get away, which I fully agree with. I agree with having guns and stuff, but there are certain limits. I don't think that assault weapons are a cool thing. I mean, what's the purpose? And but you have a duty to shoot regardless of where it hits. You're just shooting, and everybody knows you got to shoot center mass as best you can. And then after you've shot and the person's neutralized, you walk away and you get free from safety or free from danger, and that's it. That's it. You don't have to
Oh
shoot
yeah.
and kill somebody. Once they're down, leave them alone.
There's this I don't know if it's a police department or who it is. These guys that are with the police department. I can't remember their YouTube channel, but you can go on YouTube and check out shootings. Like it's not something exciting to go do. I ran across it one day and I was like, oh my god. But this one lady, a lot of these happen in Brazil, oddly enough.
Yeah.
But this lady is standing outside with a bunch of other ladies who are getting their kids in line. They're about to go into a little kids school, kindergarten or whatever. And this guy comes up and decides that he's going to hold all the ladies up and get their purses. And this one woman reaches in her purse, pulls out the gun, and just pops the guy right away. He falls back on the street, and she drops her purse and she holds the gun on him, but does not shoot him again. And she gets the gun away from the guy properly. And they explained that's where I basically saw that if she had shot again, it would have been it would have been manslaughter, attempted manslaughter, because she neutralized the threat.
Yeah. That's when you turn from the aggressor or aggressee into the aggressor.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh. Hey,
What?
hey, rookie, I'm still working on that tomato, man. I'll get that tonight for sure.
All right, Mr. General, I do have to actually be heading off here now. I've got to start working on some dinner.
Katarn, you there?
And I think he's gone full mute mode. Good talk.
Yes.
Good talk, Flip. This is fun.
Yeah, right. When the teacher's away.
Yeah, when the
my
teacher's
God.
away, the kids will play.
Yes.
So,
Hey, what are you cooking, bro?
well, I was making some my wife was making some salads. Everybody's giving me a hard time because they're like, who's chopping carrots? I'm like,
Oh.
yep. My wife, she's been working really hard and she's got this really she's beautiful. I have a simply gorgeous and stunning wife, but she
Awesome.
works really hard at that by eating salads every day. So every Sunday we try to salad prep. So we'll just get
Sorry
a ton
about
of
that separatist
There you
indeed.
go, buddy.
Well, that sounds awesome.
we just cut up all the different stuff for the week, put them in big containers, and then every night just throw some salads together. And because of that, my wife is all the more hot.
That's awesome, dude. It sounds like you guys got it figured out in a really cool way. I like.
Well, she does. I don't eat salads as much. I've got a little bit more of a eat anything I want diet lately.
Seafood diet, right?
Yeah, that's right. Let them have cake. Oh yeah.
Very well.
But Mr. General, I do have to be popping off here because I'm going to start cooking some dinner for the family.
All right. That's not a problem. That's not at all a problem. The thing is that I really enjoyed the fact that we have to end the stream. I know it's kind of sad for some people, but it's actually good because we do have some things to do. We are busy men, and of course, we can always catch each other on our channels. We can upload things, and we will all keep in touch. But basically, it's keeping our content focused. So. What I wanted to say is thank you, Exaggeration Nation, Jesse from Exaggeration Nation, for taking the time. And I really hope that that bird didn't really feed you that when it's holding on its feet.
That's one of my favorite pictures ever, man. Somebody
really, I mean, all you need to see is Jesse's picture, and you know that he's a funny guy. And we've had a few interactions on Twitter and stuff. And I said, yeah, he's cool enough to be on the Podrace after party because he knows how the huts work, and basically he lent me a few credits, and that's why we were able to do this. Otherwise, I would have been in Java's palace right now, and I would have been steamrolled to death by Gamorrean guards, and that's not the way to go.
I just like making sure everybody has a smile on their face as much as I can. I'm a man of the people, so you guys ever need anything, hit me up on the tweets. That goes for you people in the chat as well.
We will eventually have you again on the channel. Now, I know I say that almost every stream, but almost, because there are a lot of people that did not show the same interest, but that's not a problem. We all have our preferences, and especially you guys in the United States and North America in general have a free country mentality, which means that you can express yourselves as long as we can. That is because from what I see, we're being discriminated against. But yeah, that won't pass because, the people will speak eventually. So what I have to say is thank you all for coming. Thank you, Exaggeration Nation. And Flip, I will have to catch up with you, brother, because I haven't talked to you in days, and basically I feel bad about that. I wanted to fill you in on some things, and I guess I can talk to you post hangouts as well. So, do you guys want to say anything before we get offline?
Go, Flip. Take it.
Yo.
Take it. Say something cool.
Say something cool?
Follow the script, Flip.
Something cool. I don't.
Awesome.
You know who else really liked the stream?
Who?
The chat.
Oh, yeah. Everybody on the chat.
Definitely
off
sub
to you.
everybody, guys.
Hats off to you. Very cool. And everybody, make sure you sub to everybody else in the chat if you haven't already or whatever. Now, I think once we start getting up there, man, we're going to be having a lot of fun, having a lot of other different streams and stuff. Just, man, this has been a fun time.
Yeah, good stream. Good to meet you.
Yeah,
Jess.
it has. It has.
briefly.
Eventually, when it gets some traction. So we're going to be going offline, and I'm actually going to be disconnecting immediately because I have some things to get in order, and I will catch you guys on Twitter. So thank you so much for watching, everyone, and I'll catch you guys next time.
Later, peeps.